Hello guys, and welcome to another ProfileTree tutorial. So today we're going to be creating a Wix website, and what we want to do is we're going to go through the different steps of publishing the website and doing all the SEO for it as well. And on top of that, just learning on how to code some of the areas as well, like what we have here, just a little flashing area here. So we'll be using a bit of Velu. And on top of that, so once we publish the site, I'm also going to teach you guys how to quickly unpublish the website. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start it. Okay, so this is the first thing we're going to go through. So we'll go through the use of the platform all the way to the canvas of the site. So we're going to go ahead and select the Wix for our platform. And then it'll ask you what sort of website we're creating. I'm going to go ahead and click on a travel blog website. Okay, so there's a travel blog website there. And I'm going to name it Things to Do in Belfast. Go ahead and select Next. And then it'll ask you a few different things that you want to add to your website. This is all, or it can be added using the Wix marketplace. So we can go ahead and leave it for now if you choose to, just so we can get an insight to the actual site itself. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Skip. Now it'll ask you this question again for the platform. So just not to get confused, we're going to go ahead and select the Wix editor. So you could leave out the editor X and Wix ADI. So we'll go ahead and start now. Now you'll get a few different options within the travel blogs. Of course, this is what we're going to be seeing. So just a few different options there. Some for even travel photographer. We even have ones for travel agency, one for blogs, and a podcast. So you could select some of the templates here if you wish to. But what we want to try to focus on is building a website completely from scratch. So I'll just show you all the little basics there. So I'm going to go ahead and select on a blank template. And just referring back to the other site here, we have a white header along with our hero section with a parallax motion for the picture. So this is something that we want to try to mimic. So I'll go back here and we'll try to select something close to the actual site itself there. So I think what's closest is the overlap in layout. Of course, we can go ahead and choose to start from scratch, but I feel like it will be a lot easier if we go ahead and select this. So we'll go ahead and click on this. We'll view it, have a look at this site. Let me see if there's another one here. So this one's a split screen layout. Okay, so this is something that we could probably get behind with. So we'll go ahead and use this template. So once we're loaded in, I'm going to go ahead and start fixing up the site just so we could try to get it looking like this one. Of course, not exactly the same, so we'll go through the methods here. So it looks like they have two columns here, so they would want a picture here along with, or a picture here, sorry, along with some text there. I'm going to go ahead and actually follow that, so I will go ahead and change the column background for this one. Now you can select a solid color, an image, or a video, so that's just dependent on how you want to do it. Now if I go ahead and select a video and check out some of the maybe camping or nature ones that they have, I'll just see what they have in stock here. So it looks like they've got a couple of ones there. I'm going to go ahead and select the road trip one, so that looks really good. Okay, and what I could do is manage this so that it is running maybe a full page. So I'll just have that so that it's zeroed. And what I could do as well is I'll be using the toolbar maybe just to reduce the size of the strip itself. Okay. And in order to actually remove the blank white spacing, you don't need to drag it up. The easiest way to do it is to just double click just to remove any white spacing. Okay, so I'm happy enough with how that looks. The social bar could stay there. So now what I want to do is I want to see how it looks first. So I'll give it a preview. And folks, what I normally tend to do is I would actually focus on doing the hero section first before I touch the header or the footer or the rest of the other site. It's primarily just to get the idea of how your site's going to look, and then maybe you can blend the header in along with the footer. That's how I would normally do it. Of course, people have their own style. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to editor there, and what I want to do as well is I want to maybe add a sort of text box there. So I'll see if I can get something decorative, and maybe if I could pin it to the side. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll focus on that later on once we get the rest of the site going. So I'm just going to move this up here. And this is where you could just start adjusting a couple of areas. So I have it listed as welcome. So what I could do here is I could just have this one saying welcome as well. And I'll also use a different font there. Now, another thing as well is that if you do want to upload some of your own fonts, which I'll quickly show you here, it's very easy enough to do so. So you'll just want to highlight the actual fonts itself. Then you would click on the drop down there, and just below here, if you guys could see, you just select on the upload fonts. And this is where you can upload fonts just by clicking on this. And of course, you could use some of the different software or different types of websites like Awesome Fonts or Google Fonts or anything like that, just so you can upload a few fonts that you want. Looks like I've said fonts enough there. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and just copy and paste what's on this site to here, just to save me some time for content writing. And then I'll go ahead and move it so that it is Comforta regular. Okay. And then what I want to do, so there's a paragraph there. We'll actually just reduce the sizing of this one so it's not too in your face. And I'll actually be happy enough to remove that or explore more. Okay, so something like that. I'm going to go ahead and actually just change that so that it is Comforta regular as well. So this is just trying to get the feel for the actual site itself, just seeing what colors you can use and what colors you can't use. So it looks like for this one I've chose more of a green color, and that's sort of what I would like to use for this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use a green color. So let's see, we can go ahead and change the column background. And what I would like to do is pick a color. I could maybe go for color here, something closer to that green that we're looking for. Okay. Of course, we gotta try to fade it out so that it is more of a lighter green as well. Okay, something around that color maybe. so it's just not too dark. Now, what I would like to do is just adjust these up a little bit more, and I would want to change the button layout. So I'm going to go ahead and select design and just give it more of a rounded look. Of course, you can customize the button itself by using some of the borders, some of the corners. So if I wanted to maybe have that at around 15 px, that'll all join as well. Now I can have it unlinked as well. So say I wanted to have a straight edge for this one, so just a nice straight edge there, and then same applying for this one, nice straight edge here. So I can have designs like this. So it's just all dependent on how you want to create your website. So you could do something like this, just add a bit of flair. So I'll go ahead and select the design and customize the text out as well. So currently I'm on a veneer, so of course I want to try to match that with the site here for Comforta Regular. So already it's starting to look a lot nicer just for entering into the website. So that's currently what we have going. Now what I want to focus on as well is I'm going to go ahead and change the section name to Hero Section. It just keeps you on track as well, and I'll show you a cool little trick as well to getting around this area. So I need to double check to see if this template is actually a one-page website. Yes, it is. Okay, that's good. Now you can also create a multiple page website if you choose to. The way to do that is to go to the pages and menu here, and as you can see, these are all anchored up. You would just select on add page. You can click on the following pages that Wix offers here. So from about, services, I've got projects, contact, general, and landing, and of course some of the other ones here. I'm going to go ahead and just choose a blank page just for this demonstration. And then I'll name this one about. Okay, so now as you can see straight away that it is showing us two about pages. One is of course a page itself, and one is an anchored page within the website. So if you want to choose to remove one or hide one, all you would do is select the three little dots on the right there and just click on hide, and then that'll remove that as well from your menu. Now this will be now linked towards this page instead of the actual page itself. Now if you are trying to create a one-page website, the best way you would want to do is add a menu item. And then what you could do here is you could click and select section or anchor, and we would be clicking of course on the home page, and this is where we're able to select a section of the page for the home page. Now as I said, it is very important to name your sections, as you don't want to leave them within random names. It'll get you confused as well, so that's one way about it. So that's how they've added the about. Now I'll just demonstrate as well just to show you what the about actually does. So if I go ahead and select the site name here, it'll bring me back to my home page. Now as you can see from the rest of the other menu items here that I'm able to select, and I'm able to scroll down on the pages, and if I click on about, this will take me to a brand new page. So wait for that to load, and it should be a blank page like so, or a contact. Of course this will be within the footer, so we're going to go ahead and change that later on. So of course if you want to revert it back, that's easy enough. Select pages and menu, click on about, and you would just delete it and show this. So that's it back in order. Now that we've covered that, what we want to focus on is getting the rest of the site sorted. So we've got this button here, and it looks like it's already linked, and it looks like it's currently linked to the about. Now there are other ways to link this as well, especially if you're running a multiple page website. You can of course click a page, choose a page, and of course there will be several other pages for the website that you're building, depending on. you can have it to choose a web address. But I prefer to actually use the web address only if you're showing off social media, especially if it's on the footer below, which I'll show you later on, or if you're wanting to link to another website. So it could be, say, ProfileTree is linked within the disclaimer here on the bottom. So it could have 2035 by ProfileTree, powered and secured by Wix. So then I could have that as a linkable link. And if I actually show you the Wix one, we'll actually see that it's also a link. So that's what you would tend to use it for. Okay. So now going back, I'm going to go ahead and select the editor, and I'm going to go ahead and complete the rest of the hero section here. So I want to give this background more of a effect. So I'm going to go ahead and select the parallax effect. And as you could see, it's got that effect there. And that looks really cool as well. Just gives it more of a 3D look towards the site. So we'll go back to editor. So I'm happy enough with how this is looking. Now I want to go ahead and link that button to the about page, of course, or the section of about. Now by the looks of it, it looks like they have linked a anchor. Now it's not really necessary to link an anchor if you don't need to. You can just select the section as stated there. As you can see, you can do about or the section. Regardless, it's going to be around that same area. Your scroller will stop at around here anyway, just to show you what the about is. So that's that. That's it linked. Now what we want to focus on, since we've completed the hero section, is I want to go ahead and copy the things to do in Belfast. So I want to get that sort of same look along with this bit of code that I have. So we'll go ahead and do that first. So looks like my header there is a little bit bigger than what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and use the toolbar and increase that to around 300. So as you can see, that was a little bit too big. Thankfully, I've got this toolbar to help me adjust my sizing. So maybe 200 was okay. Yeah, that looks fine to me. So then, of course, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the strip sizing as well. So I'm going to list that around as 200. And that just gives me more space and more room to work with for this this actual strip. Now it looks like they are running it within a margin. I'm going to go ahead and list that margin at 0. So by the looks of it as well, we don't even need this column. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it. And we're just going to stick to the one column itself. Okay, so now what we want to do is we actually want to position this so that it is centered. Currently it isn't, as you can see with the line there, our guideline. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and center that like so. So that means our two grid lines are there. Now it's just all about adjustment at this rate. So we want to make sure that this is just like so. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and stretch that to the full width as well. And I'm going to go ahead and type in 50 for my margins. So another thing that you can do as well is you can remove the menu item. And if we click onto the add elements, go to menu and anchor, there are a couple of different options. What I like to use is the horizontal menu there, and then I could just click and drag that in. See if I can get that into the middle. Perfect. And then I can go ahead and design this. So customize design. Now, as you can see, we don't have an option for text. I do want to try to make sure that it is tying in with the actual site itself. So all you need to do is what do you want to design, the menu item, and then your text will appear. Currently it's Helvetica, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to Conforto Regular, and as you can see that's changed straight away. For our regular, the color of it is black, which we want. On hover, however, it is blue, so we want to change that to the green color that we're using. And within current page as well, I'm going to go ahead and change that to a darker green. So I'm happy enough with this. So now all I need to do is exit out of that. Once you're happy enough, you can go ahead and choose the menu container as well if you want to. As you can see, there's different colors for them. But I just tend to keep it normal, keep it nice and with the same color as the actual site itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag this down a little bit, as what I want to add now is the actual logo. Now there's other ways as well that you can create the logo using the add element section. You can go ahead and click on decorative and add a shape yourself, and then from here you're able to change the basic shape. And I'll give you as an example here. So there's basic shapes, you just change that to vector art. Now as you can see, it's a lot more fluid with the design. If I just search up nature, I'll get a whole load of different vector art. So these could be used as placeholders if you want, or if you want to use them, you can. They are free. So something like that if you wanted to, and then things to do in Belfast. Or you could just have the logo itself. That's just dependent on how you want to build the site. So another option that you can use, which I'll show you here, is go to the site and then my dashboard. And then once this opens up, I'll go ahead and show you here. You can go ahead and add a Wix logo maker. It should be somewhere around here. I could be wrong. Let's have a look. Okay, so marketing and SEO, as you can see, logo maker. So this helps, of course, with SEO as well. So it's understandable why it's at marketing and SEO. You can go ahead and get started. You can go build your actual logo itself. So things to do in Belfast. And it's to do with nature, blog. And something dynamic, fun, fresh. And then of course you could just pick some of the options that they have here. You don't have to pick them if you don't like them. So something like that. Okay, so once that loads up, it'll provide you a different amount of options for your site logo. So a couple of different ones there, so they might suit to your taste. And of course, once you're finished, you would go ahead and customize your logo, click on next, and then you can pay for a plan. Depending if your site is premium or you do get an option for free, or if you have like a trial run with them, but it is for paid if you want to go through this route. So that's one way of doing it. Of course, we're going to go ahead and use one that we have from another site. This is things to do in Belfast, so I'll get that adjusted in. And another thing as well, you can get the option as well. So let's just see if this works. Transparent, is it working? Change the image, let's see. So it's meant to be looking like that. For some reason it isn't. Let's see if I can go home and so this is one of the logos that we had purchased using the Wix logo maker. So it looks like at the minute it isn't working, which is okay. So what we'll do is we'll just use the little placeholder that we have here for the meantime. And we'll go ahead and link that to the home page. Of course, we want to have a functional home page. And what I can actually do with the pages and menu, I can go ahead and hide this, as I only want to show the following, which is about, services, gallery, and contact. And just to space these out a little bit, what I'll do is I'll actually change the vector art so it's a little bit better, just so it ties in well with the actual site. So we'll do wild nature. Okay, that's perfect. And I'll just drop this down a little bit more. And what I want to do, so this is where you can start getting a little bit more creative and start adjusting things about. And there's ways that you can adjust things into place. So I'll just center that up like so. And then what I want to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and stretch that out, but I want to px it to around 70 so it's not too far in. And on top of that as well, I want to just change the color so it's matching this. So change the design, customize design, and then we've got our border there, and I'm going to go and choose for a darker color like that. So you're able to just design how you want to. So that's how I'm going to do mine. So moving on, of course, we've got a section here made for us, a couple of the services pages. We're not going to need that, so I can just remove it. And then about, I could just drag that up a little bit just so it's a little clearer. And I'll just use them as placeholders for the meantime, but I'll just change this. What I could do as well, to make it easier for myself, instead of changing each text font, go to the site design, click on the customize and text. Now within every theme here, what I could do, okay, so text, I can go ahead and change these to Comforta regular, like so. So that means that everything to do with that heading or that paragraph means that I don't have to keep changing it, and it automatically changes it to the font that I want to be using. So this can be for the entire website, of course, just like so. And I can have that all the way down to paragraph 3. So just click OK and apply. Do the same for this. Click and apply. So that means if you check out the entire website now, it is only to do with Comforta regular. And there's nothing here that doesn't say so. So that I'm happy enough with. So you can go ahead and continue designing this. So there's an about section. Hopefully I've created an about section here. I have. So I'll just go ahead and do this. So it's just, of course you would have your own content. This is where you're able to place them in, adjust them, just on how you want to do it as well. It's up to yourselves. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy these in. And what I could do as well is I could space these out a little bit more. So it's using the entire website and not just a little portion of it. And this gives me some more space to actually copy the rest of the content in. Like so. So I'll just move this about and add that in. Okay, so that automatically pushes down my site as well, which is great. That's what I wanted to do. So just like that, and explore Belfast just as a placeholder there. So now if I don't like the way that's aligned, I can just change it using this, and that makes it a little bit better for me. Or you can have it the way it was with the alignment to the left. So it's just depending on how you want to design the website. I'm going to actually go ahead and increase this, as I think the font is a little bit too small for it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and preview the site so far. Just check out and make sure everything is how it looks. Okay. So as you can see, the header is following us. I don't really want that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the header. Now you'll see here, there's going to be a scroller setting. You just want to select that, and instead of the freezes, I'm going to go ahead and select scrolls with site. So now if I preview this, that's going to go ahead and scroll with the site. So I just wanted to stay and remain at the top, but I want this to remain with me. Now, how they actually did the Facebook or the social bar there, that is easy enough. So the way they did that is so I'm going to go ahead and remove the social link, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and add an element in. And it should just be embedded in social. If you just click on it, pick any that you want there. So I'm just going to drag that in like so. Now, as you can see, there's no pin button. Now that's very easy enough to do. What we want to focus on is how it's going to look. So for the meantime, I want it to be like this, and I want to change the sizing to around 20 because I don't want it to be too big, or maybe 25. I think that's how they had it set. Maybe, yeah, 25 looks okay. And so I have it as a vertical and like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my social links. I don't need a YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, so I'm happy enough, or whatever I had there, sorry. So I'm happy enough with having the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Another thing as well is you can change the color of them if you choose to. That's easy enough. So if you just type in the actual site itself, there's Facebook there. You can go ahead and select the different color or whatever suits your website more. So just say I had a white website, I would choose a black one, of course, or a colored one. Vice versa occurs for the black website. Of course, I would choose a white one or a gray one, whatever would be more suited to see. You can also set your social links. So I'll just show you an example here. So I've just managed to get a link there. So here's the Facebook one, and there's the what social page does this icon link to. So I'll just click on this, okay. You want to then select on the web address. Of course, that's what's selected at the minute, and it's linked to the Wix. I'm going to go ahead and link that to a ProfileTree account of ours. And so we'll go ahead, and now what we want to do is we're going to finish this off. So in order to actually pin this to the right side of the screen, all you need to do is right click, and you'll see pin to screen. You want to go ahead and select this, and then you can place it within that area. So I'm happy enough with where the placement is. Of course, you could do a horizontal offset if you need to. So it's set at 20. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 30, just so it's a little bit spaced out. Now the vertical offset, I want to leave that at 0. I'm happy enough as is. And now what we're going to do as well is we're going to go and show this pin in all pages, which isn't required as this is a one-page website, but this is in case you have a multiple page website. So that's what it looks so far. I'm happy enough with that. So I'm going to go ahead and now move on to another section of the site here, and it's to do with blogs. Now the way to do that is we're going to go ahead first to the My Business, and assuming that this site already has blogs built in, so add app, sorry. So this is the Wix app market sort of place, and then I'm going to go ahead and search up blog. Now this should be easy enough. Select blog, and thankfully it's now selected. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a section here. And so there is no blog form, unfortunately. So the way we could do this is just select on a blank section. Once you've got that selected, we're going to go ahead and add elements and select blog and add that to site. All right, it'll add the Wix blog like so. So we'll just wait on it. Okay, so just waiting on that to load. So now that's loaded in, it'll open up as well a brand new area, which is a blog page. Now, what we could do is we could actually choose to hide this from the actual menu itself. So say you didn't really want it to be shown, we can go ahead and hide that, but we can also have a blogs pages if we need to. Now we can manage the posts as well. And I'm going to go ahead and show you this first before I start adding them into the home page. So click on the blog and hit manage posts. So we'll just wait for this to load. So now that the blog post is loaded in, what I could do is create a new post. So we'll just click here on this section, blog. You'll be able to see it in that section there, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is create a new post on the top right, and then just say Northern Ireland top 10 places. As you can see as well, even my font that I want to use is right there. So then I could start talking about it here. I could actually add images. So if I click on that, add an image, and we'll wait for that to load. Okay. Go to Unsplash, and then let me see if I can search up Ireland nature. So a couple of different spots there. So I could do that. And then of course you would write a blog post about it. And there's a few different options you could use. There's a few of the SEO change settings there. And then this is what it'll say. So it'll say name of the site, Northern Ireland top 10 places. So something like that. That'll be the title tag. And then that's what they'll see here. A couple of the advanced stuff, and then you can hire a Wix SEO partner as well, but we'll focus on that later on. So of course this is where you would write up your blog post or copy and paste any content that you have in. So once you're done, all you would need to do is click publish, and that'll complete it. So that's one of the Northern Ireland top 10 places, and I'm going to go ahead and create a few more blog posts, so I'll be with you in a second. Okay, so once you've got your blog post created, I've got some of mine here. All we need to do now, you can place these into categories, by the way. So say I wanted a new category, and it's anything to do with Northern Ireland. Butchering the spelling here, Northern Ireland. And then that's the category there for the SEO. Happy enough with that. Category image, I can just use the Unsplash stuff here. See what we'll search up when I type in Northern Ireland. I'll just use that for the meantime. And click on save. Now it'll say that I have all posts here, so that we don't really touch that, but we have a category here for Northern Ireland. So now if we go to posts, what I'm able to do is I'm able to select all of these or individual ones, add that to a category called Northern Ireland there that we've created, and that'll apply to that category. Or if I only apply these, I can add that to a category in Northern Ireland, and then only they will be selected. So it's primarily up to you on what you're creating. So it could be like, say you're building like a school site, so you would have one for maths, English, chemistry, biology, physics, anything like that, or technology and design. You would separate some of the blog posts that you've created into that specific area. So could do something like that if you just wanted. So when you're happy enough, all you need to do is you would just go to the overview. Let's just have a look at everything here. Okay, I've got 5 blog posts. I'm going to go ahead and exit that. So this now will change from 3 of those original blog posts to 5 of the ones that I've created. Now this is the actual blog post area. We'll not be focusing on this, but we'll go ahead and stretch this to the full width anyway. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and manage this area. We'll just try to make it a little nicer to look at. So let's see. I want to remove the writer's name, the publish date, reading time. Maybe I could just put the publish date and then the reading time, maybe, or category label. Yes, Northern Ireland. Okay, we'll just stick the writer name, but we'll remove the image and the badge. Okay. Now, of course, it won't say ProfileTree support for your side. It's only saying that for mine. So when you're happy enough, you can click X off that. Okay, it looks good. I can even change the design as well for the blog. So here's the design. There's the blog menu, a couple of colors that I could choose from. Buttons as well, margins, anything like that I can change. Along with the post blogs. There's the layout as well, I can change it like this. But preferably I would like to just stick with the side by slide. So we'll go back to the homepage and now we're going to add our blog. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back again. Now we're going to go ahead and add our blog post. So easy way to do that is just go to add elements and then we're going to go to blog. Then just select any of the areas here that you want to pick. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the smaller ones. It just ties in a little bit better than the other. And of course I've got 4 or 5 blog posts. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this to full width. Then now my issue here is the actual placement of this. So I'm going to go ahead and px that so that it is 80. Now what I want to do is manage the posts. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. I don't want to manage the posts. I actually want to go to the settings area. So we'll click off the dashboard. We don't need that. Go onto the settings. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the settings here. And as you can see, number of posts to show is 3. I want to change that to 5. So that'll give me 5 in that one row. Okay, so we're probably just going to need to do some adjustment now. Okay, so it is a 4x3. We're going to do it as a 3x4 maybe? Maybe 1x1. Okay, that's a lot better. Fit the screen, yes. We'll set post per row. Post per row is around 5. Okay, there we go. So that's that fixed. So now what we're going to do is check the preview, see how it looks. And of course you could design it how you wish, so it can look a lot more like that. So we'll just go back and we'll look at this over again. So setting, and go back to the settings here. Let's see, go to the layout. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it by 4x3 again. Okay. And then my settings here. I want to add the rater's name without the badge, a published date, description which we've got, and comments counter, etc. Of course, the reason why this is like that is because there's actually things written within that article, hence why mine isn't showing. So that'll be different for yours, and it won't say ProfileTree support. Of course, it will say your username. So once you're happy enough with this, we can go ahead and move on. Of course, this is where you would add your title, anything like that. So if we go ahead and preview how the site's looking so far. So we've actually got a search bar for our blog, which is very handy. So that automatically adds that in. So if I just type in Northern Ireland, see what happens. So then that'll show me some of the blog posts that's available. Okay. So I'll go ahead and go back. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on for the rest of the site. What I want to do is actually I want to remove that search bar as it's not needed. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And I'm going to go ahead, finish up the gallery here, and then start working with my footer because I don't want to have a contact form or anything like that. I want to try to keep it as close as I can to how this one looks. So I will be with you in a second once I get all the content in for this. Okay, so I've got the gallery set up there and I'm happy enough with how it looks. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to remove some of that access. See if I can click on this and see if I could reduce it down, or not reduce it down, but like bring this down a little bit. Okay. So of course you could play about with this. You could probably add some text, font, whatever you want to put in that. Now, what do we want to focus on here? So I'm happy enough with how this site looks. What I want to do lastly is the actual contact form. So you can have a contact form, sure, instead of a footer. That usually works best. Or what we could try to do is create a footer or just a better contact list. So we'll go ahead and do so. Now I'm just going to increase this. Just remove this here, increase that height. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a contact form instead. And then I'm going to be playing about with the actual footer itself. So there's a contact section. And I'll just add a get in touch, something like this. And I think that looks a lot nicer than the actual footer one. Okay, so something like that. So of course you can just change it up a bit. There's this form settings that you could do here as well. And within these settings you can go ahead and change how it looks from the design. Let's see. So your input fields there, as you can see, you can change them to the comfort regular. And of course you would want to reduce the size, a bit too big there. So 12 would do. And of course you just want to modify things, make it look a little bit nicer. Even with the design there as well. Something of similar from the other one. So that's a black button there. Okay, so I'm happy enough with that. And with the message here, we can edit that text out. And we'll also say the regular setting. So once you're happy enough with that, I'm just going to reduce the sizing of this. I'm going to go ahead and make the actual footer itself. So I'm going to use a toolbar to help us out here. And I'm going to bump that up to 200. Okay, we might need to make that a little bit bigger. We'll just say 400. And I think there's already a strip here. No, there isn't. So what we're going to do is we'll add a element just to double check. Okay, there's nothing there. So we'll add an element in, which is going to be the strip. We'll just use a classic strip. I'm just going to use black for the meantime. Bring that up. Same goes with this. And I'm also going to change the layout. So I'm going to add a couple of columns like so. So I'll manage the column here and add a column here again. So for the meantime, I'll just have this so that it's my logo. Then I'll have navigation, and then I will have some social media. Now, there's a quick trick to doing this. So I'll just copy and paste some text here. Move it over there. And what I'm going to do, so it's not too spaced out, I'm just going to have it so it's set like this. Move that all the way throughout. I'm going to change the name, of course, to navigation. And I'm going to change the color of this so that it's color black. Or we can go for a green color. And then what I want to do is make the background, so the column background of this one, so that it is a transparent or white color. Do the same for this one. So it's just pretty much designing this at this stage. Okay, and then for this here, I would want to have my social media. So we're going to change the name of this to socials. And then what I want to add is the actual navigation. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can start by just creating it here. So we have got a couple of pages here. About services, gallery and contact. So I would say about services, gallery and contact. Then I would space these out to a custom. So I'll just have them at 2, and then I will also reduce the size so that it's not too big but not too little at the same time. So that means we can have more spacing. We could do even a 2.5. And then for that one, I'm going to have that to color black instead. So we could do that, or we can go to add elements, click on the menu item, and we can choose a vertical menu. So that's just completely up to yourselves on how you want to make that. As you can see, there's the menu section there. So that'll be handy, especially if you have some sub pages, but for this page, we're not going to need it. Now, how would you link that up? It's easy enough. You would just click on link, highlight it first, then link. And instead of a page, we want to choose a section. So I'm going to have that as about, of course. This one will be a section for the, let's see. So we don't have service anymore, so we can remove that. But we do have gallery, so we'll go ahead and link the gallery, of course. And then, of course, our contact. So we'll link that contact in right there. If you want to remove the underline, that's easy enough. Just make sure you highlight it and just click on underline. And that's that sorted. And that looks already pretty good. Do the same for socials as well. So just copy and paste that over. Saves us some time. And I would want to say Facebook, Instagram, and then Twitter. Same thing, you would just highlight this and then link them up. So that's easy enough. Now lastly, what we want to do is we want to get the logo of this. Of course, this is the whatever brand you have. What I'll actually do is change the column background of this to a full solid color. Nice black color there. Okay. And then have this logo sitting right here, but just enlarge this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and preview the site, just see how it looks. A couple of different areas there. Let's just click on this again. Manage the strip background, color. Oh, wrong one. What I could do actually is just change that one to, so there's the green color. Okay, that works as well. Something like that. Okay, so that looks good to me. So now if we're going through the entire website, so we've got our about, and that links up perfectly fine. We've got our services now which don't exist. So the way we are going to do this is if you need to remove one, all we need to do is either hide or delete that. So that's now gone. So we'll have 3 menu items. And we have our gallery, which works fine, and I'm happy enough with that. And we've got contact, which works as well. Okay. What I have noticed, what we did change instead of the services was the blog. So what I'm going to do is I will add a anchor, but this section will be the untitled one. See how this is important to actually specify what this page will be. So it'll be the blog. So I'll actually write down the untitled there and change that for blog. Okay, so I'll preview that again, just see how everything works. Okay, so if I click on blog, that'll direct me to the blog. So I'm happy enough with how that looks. It's a nice, plain, simple website. So moving on, now we want to actually publish this website. So how do we do it? Very, very easy. We just go ahead and click the publish button. And once that's published, it'll give you a tick there with a congratulations, your site is published and live online. So then you can click on visit to view and it'll say things to do in Belfast. So that's a actual live website. So anyone can see this now, provided that you give the link. So now, if you're wondering as well, how would I now unpublish the website? And I'll show you that quickly. And it is very simple. So you would just need to go to settings there, just below. And then select website settings. As you can see, site is published. All you need to do is hit unpublish. You'll get this pop-up message and just click unpublish. So that'll just go away. And now if we try to refresh this page, it should give us a 404. There we are. So we've looked for this page everywhere and it's now closed down. So usually you would do this, especially if you're trying to show the website to someone else while in development, things like that. You would normally change the name of your site as well. So something like this, but of course we've got another site currently for that. So then your URL as well, you could try to hide it. So things to do Belfast, something like that. Then you can change your favicon here as well. So that's a great little area to do so. So yes, now as well, if you do have a site, the most important thing is the actual SEO. So you'd want to go through and answer a couple of questions once everything is paid for with premium plans. So I'll show you the plans as well. Things to do Belfast.com. And usually it's available, usually it's not. Okay, so it is taken. Let me try XYZ. Okay, so that's available. And we'll have a look through the premium plans. Okay, so it's ideal to make sure that you look through the best plan for yourself before publishing the website, of course, and making it completely live for visitors to use. So of course, there's a couple of options there for you to pick from, and these would just mean that these would only apply for brochure websites or any regular websites at all that don't require any e-commerce or payments. So that's what you would use. Anyway, moving on, there is a business and e-commerce plan that you can pick, especially if you are creating a website that you've published. So yes, there's a couple of the options there: basic, business unlimited, and business VIP. But that pretty much wraps up this video. Hopefully it has helped. So that's just a guide, basically just to show you the actual site being built, how you would publish it, just a small preview of that SEO stuff. That SEO you would only cover if you have actually got a premium plan built in or bought ready to go for the site. And then of course on how to unpublish the website as well. If you guys have any issues at all regarding this video, just leave them down in the comment section below. And yes, I will see you for the next one. So thank you very much.